Hey guys, and welcome to another Honkai Star Rail video. So in today's Honkai Star Rail video, I'll be showing you guys footage of floors 7 and 8 from last season of Memory of Chaos, as well as providing some commentary on the gameplay footage. And I can tell you right now, it was an absolute struggle just trying to get through both of these floors, just to survive. There was absolutely no way I could have dealt enough damage to get at least 2 stars on either of these stages. And my gameplay was by no means the most optimal way I could have played it out. I definitely noticed a lot of mistakes and improvements to be made when I rewatched a lot of the gameplay footage. But honestly, even if I played both of these floors the most optimal way, I don't believe I had the damage output in order to finish both of these floors within the certain amount of turns in order to obtain 2 stars. But anyways, enough of my rambling. I hope you guys enjoy the gameplay. Alright, let's start off with floor 7. As you can see already, we're going to have to deal with these 2 annoying ice golems that I absolutely hated. Yeah, these 2 ice golems gave me the largest issue out of both of these floors. Oh yeah, and by the way, I'm only going to play the last boss from both of these floors, because if I play the entire gameplay footage, it'd be like a 40 to 50 minute video. So yeah, we're just going to cover the last enemies within the last wave, basically, within the last 2 floors. So we decided to focus down the ice golem on the right. And as you can see, I taunted with my fire MC, so he could take a lot of the ice golems do a attack right after their AoE. And I recently unlocked the major trace for the fire trailblazer that reduces incoming damage of all my allies by 15%. So whenever I use his taunt ability, whenever those stupid ice golems do their AoE attack, my allies take a lot less damage. Alright, so we break one of the ice golems here, which is good. That's what we want. We want to at least keep one of them broken, so they don't chain stun our team and constantly use that annoying AoE attack. So I'm deciding here whether I should try to break the other ice golem or just try to kill one of them as soon as possible. I decided to just go for the golem on the right to finish it off. So I believe I taunt here again because I know I cannot break either of them. So I just tried to keep my team alive with the taunt ability as well as the reduced incoming AoE damage. Heal up Ting Young. Here we go. There's 1 AoE. And see, that's the follow-up attack that the golem will use after the AoE attack. And if I don't use the taunt ability, look, my team is dropping so low. My Ting Young is almost dead, so is my Zile. So we use our Bailu ult here to top them up to as much HP as we can. But the minute my Fire MC does not taunt, I swear that Ice Golem will either target Ting Young or Zile. I don't know why. It's like taunt values don't even exist. Look at this. So, the taunt expired. He immediately targets my Ting Young. Look at that. If I didn't have Bailu on my team, Ting Young would have died there and the run would have been bricked. Thank God for Bailu. My God, Bailu's definitely a lifesaver. So from here on out, we have to play this out a lot more defensively and carefully. So you'll see a lot of turns where I actually don't even use Ting Young's buff, even though she has the skill points. Just so I have enough skill points for either the taunt or Bailu's heal. So we end up like just playing it more defensively rather than offensively. Because as you can see, my team's struggling to stay alive. I even ult my Bailu here with Ting Young so we can get off a Bailu ult. Because if I didn't have Bailu ult here, I'm pretty sure my team would have died the next round, because I no longer have Bailu Revive available. I already used it on my Ting Young. So we should finish off this Ice Golem here, and now we only have to deal with one. Once you beat or kill off one of the Ice Golems, the stage becomes a lot easier. Having to deal with 2 is annoying, but one's perfectly fine. 2 is just too much. Yeah, from here on out, it's a lot easier. Because we should almost pretty much always be able to break at least one of the ice golems. Couldn't quite break him here, so he gets the AoE off, and he targets my Zile. Look at that. My Zile almost died again. That stupid ice golem, I swear, always targets your carries or your supports. Never the tank. Never the tank. Yeah, my Zaylee died there. This run would have been bricked as well. I think I did my basic attack there rather than my skill for the heal. Look at that. Look, did you see that? He targeted my Zaylee again. Had I not healed with Bilo there, Zaylee probably would have been chunked really low or would have died. Probably would have died because she was like less than half HP at that point. Or around half HP. Yeah, so as you can see, even my Zaylee, I like gave up using her skill just to keep her alive because survivability is the entire point right now. And we ended up killing the Ice Golem. Alright, so we start off the second part of the floor with March 7's ult. This is my weaker team. This one has Dan Hung and Serval as the two damage dealers. The damage output is a lot weaker compared to my Zaylee. I mean, for obvious reasons, Zaylee is broken. So we shield March herself since she's being targeted. Alright, popped Natasha's ult. That also triggers Dan Hung's talent. Serval's really the MVP, honestly, for this stage, just because she's able to deal with those two like little robot bombs that this fat robot likes to spawn. So she's able to just help clear those out really easily. And they're both weak to lightning as well. Alright, so now he enters his charge mode. That means the next turn he's going to do like an AoE jump attack. And that thing hits really hard. It can almost one-shot my Serval and Dan Hung, I believe. You'll see shortly when the footage continues to play. So this is really good. I don't know. Oh, okay, I see why. I was like, why didn't I use my ultimate when Dan Hung's talent was active already? It was because the fat robot wasn't slowed. And you do a lot more damage when the opponents are slowed using Dan Hung's ultimate. So I was like, okay, I have to at least slow them. And I'll still get the damage boost from his talent, even though I used my skill. Ideally, you want to be using, ideally you want to be activating Dan Hung's talent when he has his ultimate up and comboing it with his ultimate. But there are scenarios where you're just not allowed to do that, or it's not really optimal to do that in that particular situation. Okay, Serval. I believe I saved the ultimate here because I know he's either going... Oh, there's a jump attack. Look at that. Full HP Serval. Almost one-shotted. She has 200 HP left. It's freaking crazy how much damage that robot can do. And the only reason Dan Hung didn't get a like chunk there is because he had a March 7th shield on him. My god. So I think I decide to shield Serval here. Yeah. Just to be on the safe side. Even though March is the one being targeted, I know she can tank the hit. She has like almost 3,000 defense. She's definitely tanky enough. Alright, there are the robots. So I believe I use Serval's ultimate here shortly. Or at least I should. I've been holding on to it for a while. Like I said, not the most optimal gameplay. But even if we used it earlier, as you can see, we're already at 15 rounds. And in order to get 2 stars, you need to complete the stage within 16 rounds. So there's no way. We're like halfway through the fat robot, and we still have the entire, like, the other robots at full HP. So there's no way we're going to clear within that amount of time, no matter how well we play it. There is March 7's ultimate. Heal March because she's like less than half HP. Gets rid of the bleed stacks too, which is really nice. Oh, okay, I know why I didn't ult yet, because I wanted to apply shock on at least one of the bosses. Because if you guys didn't know, Serval's ultimate also extends the shock duration, so I wanted to do that. That's why I held on to my ult for a very long time. Not the most energy efficient, unfortunately, but she has a pretty low energy cost, so it kind of makes up for it. Like, our ult's already halfway up. Yeah, it's already halfway charged, so it's not too big of a deal.
Don't worry about me.
He's entering his charge mode again. Alright, so what do I do here? I don't believe we have enough break potential to break either of them, so we're just gonna have to take the AoE hit. And I knew immediately, see, look at that, both Dan Heng and Serval almost died. I knew that immediately they were gonna get chunked, so I just instantly pressed Natasha's ult. Just deciding here on whether to use the heal or just basic attack. Decided to go with the basic attack. Go with the basic attack. Trying to save up skill points now. So I have some extra spare skill points in case I need to heal with Natasha or use March 7's shield. So you'll see a lot of times here where I only basic attack with my Serval. Especially if the enemy's already shocked, there's no point in using her skill. It does a little bit more damage and reapplies the shock, but in order to save skill points for survivability, I decided to play it a lot more defensively. Basically, I'm trying to turtle my way through the stage. Here I go for the skill, obviously, because he spawned the 2 explosive robots. You want to kill those as soon as possible. Alright, he's going to go into charge mode again. Going to do that annoying AoE. I believe we should be able to break him, though, this time. Yeah, he's very close to being broken, so that's fine. Shield ourselves, because we're really low. Luckily, Dan Heng wasn't taunted, or the taunt didn't affect him, so he's able to target the 2 mines. Second mine explodes and breaks the robot, so he's unable to do his giant AoE attack. The fat robot's almost dead. Goes into charge mode again. We should be able to kill him before he's able to get off to his AoE attack, though.
Fighting is meaningless.
I think I made a mistake here. I should have waited to, what do you call it? Waited for Natasha's ultimate, or waited to cast Natasha's ultimate after Dan Heng cast his skill. Like, basically, I should have waited until Dan Heng had his ultimate, used Natasha's ultimate to trigger his talent, and then use Dan Heng's ultimate after that. So, slight misplay there, but then again, my Dan Heng got moved up due to the, I forgot what it's called. There's the little, like, buff that Hunts and Erudition characters get for this season of Memory of Chaos. Forgot what it's called, but it's random. It's 50-50 because I have an Erudition character and a Hunt character. If I was only running Dan Heng, then it would guarantee this one, that buff right there that you just saw. It picks Serval over Dan Heng. But if I was only running a Hunt or only an Erudition character, then it would be guaranteed. But since I'm running both, it's 50-50. So wasn't 100%. I could have predicted it, but I think I should have probably still waited for the buff to have gone off. Alright, so I decided to go for a skill there. Alright, so now we got it right. We healed Dan Heng, triggered his passive or talent, and then got his ultimate off with the extra wind penetration. That's the most optimal way to be playing Dan Heng, but it's not always ideal. Sometimes you're just unable to time it properly, due to just you either having to use a skill to heal Dan Heng or something else triggering it completely randomly. Or like another ally, for instance, my Serval's about to die, I have to use Natasha's ult. It'll automatically trigger Dan Heng's talent no matter what. Alright, and this robot is almost dead here. I also made kind of a mistake here. Not sure why I did not Natasha ult earlier. I decide to like ult. Well, you'll see in a moment here. The robot's almost dead though. But I should have ulted a lot earlier with Natasha. I don't know why I held on to this ultimate. Because right here, had this robot targeted my March 7th here, I'm pretty sure it would have maybe killed March or got her very low. She probably would have died to the bleed damage if she had taken the hit there. So I probably should have ulted a lot earlier. Alright, so then floor 8, we have the Ice Golem and this Maiden here. It is a lot easier to deal with only one Ice Golem. This floor, in my opinion, at least this part, was much easier than floor 7. Floor 7 was just absolute. It took me like 4 or 5 tries before I finally was able to beat floor 7 with the 2 Ice Golems. Yeah, I'd much rather fight this Maiden. She's just annoying. She doesn't perma freeze your entire team and then target your carries, almost one-shotting them. So yeah, for sure, we focus on killing that Ice Golem as soon as possible. I just don't want that thing to be alive. And we should be able to break him very easily, because I believe I casted my Fire Trailblazer's ultimate earlier, yeah. So we broke the Ice Golem there. Targets Bailu. And I immediately cast Bailu's ultimate here, just for safety, because anyone on my team can die, except for Bailu. Bailu does not revive herself. So when it comes to keeping someone alive, the priority, Bailu is always the first priority. She has to keep herself alive, no matter the cost.
I'll free you from your disappear among the sea of butterflies. Illusions of the past.
Yeah. Even here, I decided against just using my basic attack to generate a skill point. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna risk Bailu getting bursted down. Just gonna heal her up with her own skill. Alright, we break the Ice Golem again, preventing him from using his AoE. Take quite a bit of damage there from Zile when I used her skill. Ting Young's going to take some damage here because she's going to use her skill, but I did calculate the fact that this would give her ultimate if she got hit, so that's why I did it. Used it on Zile's ult. Now she gets a boost on top of that from the Resonance. And we should kill off the Ice Golem here, getting a Resurgence proc, and then now we use that attack on the Maiden as well. Of course, the minute we get Bailu's ultimate, we have to cast it here because Zile is less than half HP. And from here on out, it's pretty easy. Yeah. Pretty simple for this part of the stage. I don't think any of my characters died either. We didn't have to use Bailu's, what do you call it? Her talent for the revive for this particular run. Unlike the previous stage with the 2 Ice Golems, oh my god. I'm never gonna let that go. I just hate those 2 Ice Golems so much. Alright, so we decided to use the heal here because I don't want Ting Young dying. Ting Young has a tendency to get one-shotted or get targeted very frequently for whatever reason. Alright, she's almost dead. Skills will be attacked. I don't really care at this point. Does a good chunk of my Zile's HP though. Go for the buff here. Did not cast her ultimate fast enough. I'm not sure if I could have casted her ultimate before I got hit. So we got the resurgence buff as well as the, well, not the resurgence buff, the resonance buff, as well as Ting Young's ultimate buff. Oh, and here I got a little bit lucky, and it didn't completely like hit my Ting Young and Zile. If it like focused my Ting on Zile, I feel like one of them would have died there, but luckily some of the hits went on to Bailu and my Fire Trailblazer instead. Ting Young almost died again. Unfortunately, we fell a bit short of killing her early, so we wasted an extra round. And now onto the second fight with these two centaur-looking things. It wouldn't have really mattered though. It literally took, I literally had about, I think it was 1 or 2 turns left before I finally beat these two centaur creatures. And they both target my Dan Hung here. Luckily, this is why March 7th is actually really good against these two centaurs. If they target a specific character, you can just throw March 7th shield on them. And it should be able to tank the majority of the damage. You'll see here shortly that since they both target Dan Hung, they did so much damage they actually bursted through my March 7th shield, which rarely happens. It like rarely happens. So auto here. Okay, there's one. Chunk through a big chunk of the shield. And then this one literally brought Dan Hung to less than 50% HP. Pretty crazy. So immediately, the minute I saw this, I'm like, I need to use Natasha ult. It's a good value Natasha ult too, because it healed everyone for quite a bit of HP. Usually, in most emergency situations, you're like only using Natasha's ult to heal like 1 or 2 characters that are about to die. But that was a really good Natasha ult. Serval gets chunked to less than half HP. Oh my god, look at it. I'm not sure. Is that dot damage? DOT damage? We'll just call it DOT damage. Man, that thing chunks so hard, man. So I was deciding, should I shield Dan Hung for his talent here or Serval because she's about to die. I decided to go for Serval because I saw in the turn order that Natasha's going to be able to use her skill on Dan Hung after he uses his skill here. So he's going to use his skill, and then his ultimate's up. We're going to use Natasha to heal Dan Hung rather than give him a shield, and it'll still trigger his talent, allowing him to use his ultimate alongside with superiority of reach, which is his talent, the extra wind penetration. So I did like 15k earlier, if you guys didn't see that, on his ultimate. Okay, there's March 7's ultimate. Only freezes one of them, unfortunately. The base chance for freezing on March's ult is so low. Even with her... I don't have her third major trace unlocked yet. But even with that unlocked, it's only like 65% base chance to freeze. So you need a lot of effect hit rate. And I'm even running an effect hit rate helmet on my March currently. So there's Natasha's ult. See, there are just situations where you can't time the talent properly on Dan Hung because you need a heal. And a lot of heals are AoE, and it targets Dan Hung, so it'll just trigger his it'll trigger his talent regardless. Alright, we decide to shield Dan Hung here. Maybe a little bit too early? No, I think it was correct. Yeah, because I think it's fine. I wanted to shield Dan Hung, not just because of his talent, but he was like about half HP. I don't want him dying, so that's why I did that. We go ahead and use the ultimate here regardless, because it'll break the opponent. And they're slowed too, so does some decent damage. So I was deciding here whether I should use my skill or basic attack. I decided to use my basic attack to save the skill point to heal my Serval. Because at this point I noticed that we're already past the point where we can obtain 2 stars. The only goal for me now is to beat the stage while keeping all my teammates alive. So I gave up a lot of damage potential here for both Serval and maybe not as much for Dan Hung. The majority of the time I'm still using his skill, as you can see here. But mostly Serval. I've been just using her basic attack so we have extra skill points for both Natasha and March to heal and shield my allies, preventing them from dying. Here I use Natasha's ultimate to heal and trigger Dan Hung's talent. And then he uses his ultimate. Should do about 15k. 19k, look at that. Look at that damage. I mean, it's nothing compared to my Zele, but pretty decent for a 4-star character. Yeah, we definitely ended up playing a lot more defensively here than I normally would. Normally, I would not be saving this many skill points. Or I would be using, what do you call it, Serval's skill more often than not. Like, as you can see here, both of these centaur creatures, none of them are shocked. Well, here I'm about to use their skill. But before, none of them were shocked. Like, I didn't really care about the extra shock damage from Serval. All I wanted to do was just keep Dan Hung and Serval at a healthy HP bar. Healthy enough to the point where I wouldn't have to really worry about them. So I used Natasha's heal, keep her at 50%. Okay, so they're targeting my tanks and healers, which is fine. I go ahead and use Natasha's ult here because she's dropping close to 50% HP. look at that. I probably should have waited a little bit. Waited for those 2 DOT ticks on my march to hit, and then use Natasha's ult. That was a little bit of an early Natasha ult, in my opinion. See, a few misplays, like I said before. Definitely could have played it a little bit better, in my opinion. Use the basic attack here. I believe because he's already slowed, that's why. So now we're at the point where there's only one centaur, right? So I believe now my gameplay, or what I'm thinking now, is I need to play more offensively, so I actually can kill off this this enemy within the because I only got 6 or 7 turns left, 6 or 7 rounds left before the match is ending. I think we use basic again here, because yeah, if I'm gonna prioritize skill, it's going to be Dan Hung, because he does a lot more single target damage compared to my Serval. And he's already shocked too, so it's perfectly fine to use Serval's basic attack. Casted the ultimate a little bit late there. Of course it didn't freeze. We use her skill, immediately chain the ultimate in. So now we're definitely focusing on trying to kill the boss rather than surviving. Because there's only one of them now. They're not going to deal as much damage, so I should be okay. I think I just go for a basic attack here. Oh no, actually, no. I go. Do I basic attack? Okay, I shield. I don't know why I didn't shield my Dan Hung. He has his ultimate up, and he has his talent active. Instead, I decided to Natasha ult for some reason. I guess I used the Natasha ult to trigger the Dan Hung talent. I honestly think I should have just used the, what do you call it, March 7th shield instead. Like I said, a couple of misplays. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have shielded herself there. I should have shielded Dan Hung. Now I shield Dan Hung for some reason. I guess for a talent again. I'm just trying to deal as much damage as I can. But I honestly think I should have shielded Dan Hung back in that scenario instead. Alright, immediately cast Serval's ultimate. Just basic here. Immediately cast the ultimate as well. We got 2 rounds left. I remember what happens here. Okay, yeah. We use the skill. We have our ultimate. We wait, though. Basic attack. We still wait. We still haven't cast Dan Hung's ultimate. Serval with her skill. Okay, and then he's going to hit my Natasha here. We use the ultimate. Trigger Dan Hung's talent for superiority of reach. And now we use his ultimate. And this should be the end of the fight. Break! Yeah, it just feels absolutely amazing whenever you finish off an opponent with Dan Hung's ultimate. Alright guys, well that's going to be it for this Honkai Star Rail video. If you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, or join if you wish to support my channel even further. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next Honkai Star Rail video. Peace!